review of All That Remains' 10th album, AntiFragile. So going into this, I'm aware of All That Remains, but really the only song I know is that 2 Weeks song, and I like that song a lot. I know that most of the band is new members that haven't been in the band before, although this is their 10th album. So going into this, not really sure what to expect. And the music, all the songs kind of have a very similar vibe. I would say the music sounds very much like Dragon Force meets Killswitch Engaged meets Death Clock, but that band is then heavily, heavily inspired by both Metallica and Dream Theater. That's what almost all these songs sound like. These songs sound like if I didn't know who Trivium was, but I was told the story and the history of Trivium, these youngsters, living out the rock star dreams of all their heroes and the kind of music that I would assume Trivium would put together based on what they're into, I would think that this is what Trivium sounds like. It's not what Trivium sounds like, though. There is just blistering guitars, blistering drums, pretty much nonstop, to the point where I never thought I'd say this before, but it was almost too much. I love heavy, fast music. The heavier, the faster, the more it changes, usually the more I like it. But there is something to like the songwriting part of that. And although these guys are amazing players and they're playing amazing stuff, it was just too much thrown at me, changing generally too often in ways that were just, you go from the most brutal heavy stuff to the fastest shreddy guitar to just the craziest drum double basses. It was, like I said, I don't know. It was too much for me. I felt like with the drums, they were amazing, but these songs and then the drums sounded more like Gene Hoglan doing like an instructional video about how to be technically and fast and exercises more than it felt like, songs, so to speak. You get parts that are djenty and then shreddy, but in ways that djenty and shreddy don't usually go together. Those things are together at times, but they're usually done in a certain way with those artists, where this just sounded like too many different things to me that just didn't fit mixed together. If I want to hear music like this, I'm going to go listen to The Curse by Atreyu. I feel like that does what a lot of this is trying to do in a more manageable way. I like what they're playing. It's just, it was too much. Going through the songs that I did like, Let You Go, that was my favorite of all the songs on there. The song, The Piper, it has this part in the beginning that's awesome, and it was kind of more melodic, and I thought it had greatness. I thought it could have been the greatest song on the album, and it could have been just a great song in general, but then it just did the fast, heavy stuff too much. There were songs like Forever Cold that started like acoustic and almost orchestral, but then it just, the super heavy, crazy stuff takes over. The title track was okay, Anti-Fragile. It had a Hot for Teacher Van Halen guitar intro to it that was like tapping. That was pretty cool. There's a song, Cut Out Their Tongues, has the super gnarly breakdown. Somehow it was like the slowest, chillest song and the heaviest, craziest song all at the same time. This is their version of Sad But True. This is their Sad But True Black Album song, I would say, the Cut Out Their Tongues. I bet that song would be amazing live. In my living room, just listening to it alone, it was a little much. And then the last track, Blood and Stone, it had another kind of extended piano, almost like, I don't know if orchestral intro, but then it just goes nuts. I feel like if they would have had, a quarter of the goes nuts, a quarter of like the Blood and Stone and the Piper, those parts that I liked, mixed in then, and then half of it, whatever else it needs to be, that would have been a better mix. Just, you needed to bring some of this other calmer stuff in, not just as an intro, not just as an outro, as a way to actually, make the songs breathe a little bit more. If you're into really heavy, really fast, in your face all the time, then this is cool. But it was just a little too much for me for not knowing this band, not knowing how they sound, trying to take the songs in. It was just like trying to take in a music clinic of, some of the awesomest, shreddy and craziest blast beats that you can handle and put that into a song. And that's what I got from it.